Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Josh.
And I'm Erin.
And today we're talking about our 5 favorite whiskeys from 2021.
Welcome to the channel, bringing a real-world perspective to the real-world whiskey consumer.
Today we're talking about our 5 favorite whiskeys from 2021. Not the best whiskeys, not the top whiskeys. Our 5 favorites. And honestly, kind of our surprises of the year.
Some of them, yeah.
So it's a little bit of a different list than what you might be seeing. But before we get into that, we have to get into the first sip.
Dun, dun, dun.
What is the first sip?
It is where we take sips of something we have never tried before, and it is completely blind.
Right. So we have no familiarity.
Correct.
And we don't know what we're sipping. So
Correct.
Let's get into it.
All
Cheers.
right, cheers.
These are a mix between available and allocated hard to find products, by the way. So we don't know if it's supposed to be good or not.
It smells kind of buttery.
Okay.
Like it smells like it's going to taste thick. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can meet you on that with like 3 C's thick. It is very concentrated sweetness on the nose. It's a very classic bourbon nose, just very concentrated sweetness. I mean, all your typical stuff. I'm getting some apple, some caramel, vanilla, oak. Really, really classic.
It kind of tastes as thick as I expected it.
It's a little thinner than I expected it to be, actually.
Really?
It's a little brighter, a little sharper.
It's sharper. It's sharp for sure.
I was expecting a little bit more of a deep oak note. Based on what the nose was giving me, on the palate it's coming across a little bit brighter, a little bit more fruity, but it's good. I am working past a cold right now, so I don't know if that's hampering me. In recent videos, it has been helping me actually.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes with this. One more sip here.
This has like an effervescence to it like a Coca-Cola has, which I can't decide if I like that or I don't like that. Because there are some that do have that, and I don't know if that's like a good thing or bad thing. I don't know if I prefer it or not.
Yeah, I definitely see what you mean. There's almost like a carbonated effervescence. And I don't know if it's because you just said that and put it in my brain, but I'm even getting a little bit of a cola note in the background. But yeah, this is a good solid pour. The second sip, kind of the sharpness that I had on that first sip, tamed down. It calmed down a little bit. It got a little bit more mellow.
Yeah.
My progression with this glass is kind of downhill.
Okay.
From what seemingly was smelling kind of special on the initial nose. And then on the first sip, it kind of went sharp and not quite so special. And then the third sip, it kind of came across, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but quite pedestrian, kind of like a very standard classic bourbon flavor profile. Not to say it's bad, it's actually quite enjoyable. I'd be happy to sip this anytime. It's not blowing me away. It doesn't strike me as anything super special.
So where do you fall on nose flavor and palate on this?
Okay, so on the nose, strong thumbs up. I really like the nose. I think it's the best thing about this glass, personally speaking. On the flavors, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. That third sip that I just had, or fourth sip, or however many sips I've had, that came through with a little bit more oak and even a little bit of like bitterness from that oak, but not in a bad way, in a really nice way actually. And then I'll give it a thumbs up on the experience as well. It's kind of a thumbs up across the board for me. Really enjoyable pour. Where are you at on it?
I actually am at the same thumbs up across the board. Nose flavor and palate. It's a good solid pour. Not my favorite, not my least favorite.
Yeah. I
liked it. So I would be happy to drink it again.
Let's find out what it is, and then we can talk about price, availability, whether we buy it again or not. This is, Woodford Wheat, 90.4 proof.
It tastes a little higher proof than that to me.
Yeah, it's coming across sharper than that to me.
It drinks higher proof.
This is fascinating. So shout out to the bourbon van, Phil and Julie, for giving us this sample.
Oh, they gave us this?
Yep, they sure did. And I think Phil is on record as absolutely hating this stuff.
Oh, really?
I don't think Julie minds it, but I think Phil loathes it.
I wonder if it's the sharpness. Because there is some sharpness there. These
Woodford Wheat and Rye and regular bourbon offerings, this 90.4 proof, they're really standard, kind of very rounded profile products.
Yeah.
And this falls right in line with that. Again, nothing special, even though the nose kind of let us think it might have been at first. Good. full disclosure, this is our first pour of the day, so it did come across a little bit more on the palate at first, and then it tamed down. So let's talk about retail and consumer ratings for us.
Okay.
So retail being the price and availability based on how you like the product or not. Let's just say that it's 35 or 40 bucks, readily available in every market. If we're wrong on that, please correct us in the comments below, but I think Woodford has pretty much outstanding distribution everywhere. Okay. So you can get this flavor for $35 or $40 anywhere you go. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I feel like that's a really good retail score, so I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up.
Okay. And then it's sitting on the shelf in front of you. Are you buying it or not? Consumer score.
Maybe. I'm just going to give it a thumbs up for that, because I might. It's good. I don't typically love wheat, heavy bourbons, but this one's pretty good, so it's a thumbs up.
Yeah. That's actually an interesting point, because you do tend to prefer a little bit more earthiness, and you don't like something that's overly sweet.
Right.
So yeah, for me, I like the flavor. I don't love it. Readily available is great, but I don't feel like it's anything super special that you can't get in a lot of other products. Like I said, it's pretty typical bourbon flavor profile. So as far as I'm concerned, 35, 40 bucks, that's pretty good price for what you're getting in this glass. So it's a thumbs up for me on retail. And then consumer ratings, would I buy it again or not? Just okay. I mean, I think there's a lot of other products on the market that fit the same kind of profile. Even the regular Woodford Reserve, that's not the Woodford wheat, also fits this flavor profile. Really fun sample. Thanks, Phil and Julie. If you're not subscribed to the Bourbon Van, go check them out.
Do it.
If you like us. Or else. If you like us, you're bound to like them.
Yes.
They're great people. We are happy to call them friends. And absolutely check them out. Yes. We'll put a link in the description below.
And speaking of if you like us and you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. We keep doing videos like this twice a week.
Yeah.
So that way you won't miss them. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
We'd appreciate it.
And if you like quick reviews like this, these little capsule reviews that we do here as part of our Tuesday episodes, then check us out on Patreon. That's in the description below as well. We do 2 of these types of videos every week over on the Patreon platform. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Everything we do here on the channel is blind. Everything we do over there, well, some of the stuff is blind, but most of
it's not blind. It's samples we've been given or
bottles that we get in.
Yep. And they're a little more relaxed and uncut.
Yeah. And we also have all kinds of other stuff on Patreon as well. We have our community element with a Discord server that you can get involved in where we help each other out. That's tons of fun. And then we have our whiskey nerd tier where you can get tons of other information, obviously the bonus content. And then we've even started doing blind flight nights where we will get a blind flight into your hands and we all get together on a private live stream and we do a coordinated blind flight together, which we are so excited about. So check that out in the video description below. With that said, let's get into our main topic, our 5 favorite whiskeys of 2021. And let's caveat this right now off the top.
Okay.
These are our favorites.
Yeah.
This is based entirely on what we've learned over the last year of blind tastings.
And not what we've learned, just what we've liked.
Right, what we've learned and liked, because you can go back in videos and you can see us taste these things in blind tastings or on live streams and see that we were genuinely blown away by what was in front of us. Let's get into it with our first one. And this is, look, we're going to go ahead and get this out of the way.
Yeah.
This right here is...
It was an accident.
This was somewhat accidental. So if you will go back and watch our Woodford Reserve Double Oaked versus Old Forester 1910 review, what you'll see is that at the end, we mixed them together as a little bit of a goof and found out that we actually liked them together.
They're pretty good.
Better than apart.
Yeah.
However, it was missing a little bit of proof. So we started thinking to ourselves, okay, what can we do to
you did.
Up the proof? Well, yeah, I did. But we both agreed that it needed a little bit more oomph.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to think, okay, what can I do to up the proof a little bit? And we have a home blend for our first pick on the list. So what you're going to get is...
And we call this, what do we call this?
Brown-Forman Banana Pancakes.
Or Josh and Erin's Brown-Forman Banana Pancake blend.
If you want to. I got a wonky bottle of Woodford. It's a little wobbly. But this 1910 plus this Woodford Reserve Double Oaked, and then to kick up the proof a little bit, Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. So if you mix these equal parts, then what you get is something, depending on your Jack Daniel's single barrel, you're getting something around 104, 105 proof. And guys, I don't know what to tell you other than this blend is fantastic. Everybody takes 1910 and blends it with 1920, and they call it 1915, and they say it's good. And it is good. It just tastes like 1910 mixed with 1915.
You mean 1920?
1920, yeah. These three together are more than the sum of their parts.
Yeah.
Now, I know this is an expensive blend. The average price of these bottles is ranging in the upper $50 mark. So you're looking at, 160 something bucks to get these three bottles. But they're all fairly readily available. And, you can get your hands on it, and you get 3 times the whiskey if you try this blend and you really like it.
If you like it, and then you have something like no one else has.
Yeah.
So this is going to be, I've asked Josh to make this our decanter.
Yeah.
Like whiskey. So this is what will be in our decanter.
And here's the earmark. So our Brown Forman Banana Pancakes blend here, we tried it and thought it was outstanding.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, this is really good. It can't be that good though, right? Let me blind it against a really, really good Old Forester 100 proof store pick. And it was no contest. This was so much better than that. That Old Forester 100 proof pick, store pick, actually has made the best of list for some local friends in their top 5 whiskeys of the year.
Yeah.
And this is even better than that to my palate.
Yeah.
And then we got a sample of this in part of a blind 12 Days of Christmas from Barry Hawk, friend and patron of the channel.
Thanks,
Shout
Barry.
out to Barry Hawk.
Yep.
And we didn't know what we were drinking.
We didn't know it. And it was so good.
I was blown away. I thought it was one of the best pours I've had all year. And I'm like, there's no way this is available. And come to find out,
it's our blend.
it's the Brown Forman Banana Pancakes blend.
And it was cool because it was his whatever single barrel he got.
A different single barrel.
Barrel, but it was still so good.
Yeah. This probably could make our number 1 whiskey of the year.
And if you do try it, please leave a comment below and let us know what you think. If you don't like it, that's fine. We won't be upset about it, but I'm curious.
Yeah. All right. We've gone on enough about this.
Yes.
I just want everybody to experience how good this is. Let's move these out of the way over there.
Okay.
And let's move into the rest of our list, which for the most part is going to be fairly readily available stuff.
Okay.
We had a really good 2022 and got some really crazy bottles, including a George T. Stagg.
You mean 2020?
2020. What'd I say?
2022.
I keep mixing 2020 and 2022 up. Nonetheless, we got some crazy bottles in 2020 on sheer luck.
Yep.
2021 was not quite as lucky, so we don't have as many crazy rare bottles to show, which is totally fine because the stuff on this list is just as good, and we've backed that up with blind tastings.
Yep.
Our first non-blend on the list is going to be Knob Creek Single Barrel 120 proof store picks.
And we don't have much of this left, so you can tell we like it.
Right. But these are available all the time in our market, and we hope in your market you can get your hands on these too. Even if it's not a store pick, there's a regular old 120 proof single barrel offering that's probably going to be available. These are so good, and in blinds, flights, I keep putting these in, and they keep beating bottles that are making other people's best of lists. I am never not surprised by how good these are, especially when compared to other things. These are $50-$55, super readily available. A lot of people complain because Knob Creek is bringing the years down on these. They used to be 12, 13, 14, 15 year single barrels. Now they're coming down to be more like 9 or 10 years. I don't think that's a bad thing. 9 or 10 years is a great sweet spot for bourbon. These are fantastic. And if you're like me, and if you're at the checkout at the grocery store and you're looking at all the candy, and there's like the sprees and the sweet tarts and all the other stuff, and then there's also the candy bars.
Yeah.
And you're like me and you reach for the Snickers, if your inner kid, your candy craving kid thinks the Snickers is the king of the candy bars, then this is your pour right here.
Fair.
This is Snickers in a bottle, and I can't get enough of it. I love it. That's our number 2 on the list for the best of the year. Number 3, if you guys have been watching the channel, you know this is coming.
New Riff.
This is probably our biggest surprise of 2021.
This is the biggest surprise for me. I had never heard of New Riff. Now, granted, I'm not in the bourbon scene as much as Josh is, but I'd never heard of this company before. And somehow we got a bottle of the bourbon, the barrel-proof bourbon, and I was just blown away. And then we got to try the rye, and I was also just blown away, which we do not have a bottle of the rye because
We drank it all.
I drank it all,
Yeah.
basically.
We're specifically talking about the single barrel proof offerings from
Yes.
New Riff. Now, we've had a few of the other products. They are very good, but nothing is impressing us. Nothing is making our favorites list except the single barrel proof. We have found out through running this channel, these are so flush in our market that we just assumed they were available everywhere. They're not available in every market because New Riff is a small new distillery and they don't have a lot of distribution in a lot of places. We've had one single barrel proof bourbon that was just okay. Everything else has been great, and you can look back on the blind tastings and see how this stuff has fared both on the bourbon and the rye.
Yep.
Blown away by New Riff. Number 4 on our list.
Yes.
And now we're going up market a little bit. And this is going to be Bardstown Bourbon Company Discovery Series number 6. So we were huge fans of 2, 3, and 4. Number 5, we both really liked more than most people, actually. But number 6 is absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, I like that one the best.
The first time we tried it, we were like, this is raspberry jam on a pastry.
No, I said a scone.
Or scone. A scone.
Raspberry jam on a scone.
Yeah. And as the bottles opened up, it just continued to be great. Is Bardstown Discovery Series really good?
It is.
Yes. Is it worth $130? That's debatable. Only you can decide.
Yeah.
Are there better products out there for less money? Maybe. I guess it depends on your palate.
But we did really like this.
But we did really like
and
this.
This is one of our favorites from last year.
And we do really like Bardstown Bourbon Company in general.
Yep.
I mean, 2021, we went there for my birthday and did a tour, Thieves and Barrels.
Yep.
It was a ton of fun.
Cool.
So that had to make the list for us this year. So keep that sentimentality in mind because you might not need to pay $130. Our 5th category or 5th favorite here is actually kind of a category, and it's barrel craft spirits.
Yes. Specifically for me,
Seagrass.
barrel seagrass.
And specifically for me, the barrel bourbon batches. The reason I was hemming and hawing a little bit on the Bardstown Discovery Series is that I keep putting it against blinds, against barrel bourbon batches, and barrel bourbon batches keep beating it. And these are $40 to $50 cheaper. That said, this still tastes like very classic bourbon.
Yeah.
Seagrass is on a whole nother level.
It's a category of its own because it's got it's apricot brandy, right?
Yep.
Cask. Yep. Barrels, and it's just got a finish that's chef's kiss.
And when we actually did our December live stream, we had this in a flight of 5 ryes, our favorite ryes of the year, and we had some pretty heavy hitters, including a bottle that we went and picked out from a flight at Nashville Barrel Company that we loved, Old Forester Barrel Strength Rye, which we absolutely adore.
Yep.
All these other ones, we tasted through them. Seagrass was the standout.
It was good.
Best of the best. It's so good. Word is getting out on this stuff.
Yeah.
It made Jason from Mash and Drums list as best rye of the year.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's getting a lot of accolades from a lot of people, and for very good reason.
Yeah.
With that said, I wanted to include this because this isn't getting as many accolades from people, but these barrel bourbon batches are fantastic. We've tried 26 through 29, all amazing. 28 was all right, but the other ones were fantastic. I've heard 30 and 31 are absolutely unreal as well. So check out Barrel. A lot of people hem and haw over spending $90, but if you're spending $130 for Bardstown Discovery, pick up one of these and blind it against it and see which one you prefer. All right, let's get into some other stuff.
Let's do it.
For this week, we figure, looking at the calendar, this is going to come out mid-January. Looking into the future here in about a month, it's going to be Valentine's Day. And you need a gift, right? So
some people do, some people don't.
Some people don't. We actually don't.
We don't do
celebrate.
gifts.
We just take out pizza and watch a rom-com.
Yeah.
And hang out here at the house.
But if you are gifters, we got something for you.
Right. If you like bourbon, whiskey, ryes, whatever, you probably like smelling things.
Smelling things? You
Who
like
doesn't
smells?
Yeah. Weird pitch, but we're going to recommend some parfums. Some fragrances, as it were.
Okay.
For me, I wanted to include this specifically because I like cologne. Okay. And I have some nice colognes, but I don't want to wear those every day to work and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm not really around anybody, but I do, if I catch a whiff of myself, I want it to be pleasant.
You want to smell yourself.
Right. So when we go out, I wear my nicer stuff.
Yeah.
But if I'm just going to work, I actually don't want to spend a bunch of money. I don't want to drink a $150 bottle of whiskey every day. I also don't want to wear a $150 bottle of cologne every day. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to include a little bit of a contentious fragrance company in the fragrance world. And it's the company Armaf, ARMAF. And what they do is they clone or duplicate more expensive fragrances.
Okay.
The reason I'm including them is because their products are actually really good. The packaging, the naming can be a little bit weird, especially this first one. This bottle is atrocious. I actually keep it inside my closet because I'm so embarrassed about how it looks. It's got these fake diamond encrusted tops. But this is Armaf Club de Nuit Intense Man.
Intense Man.
The most lame name for a fragrance
Which one is this?
ever. But this is what I wear pretty much every day. It's about $30 a bottle.
This is a good one. This gets him compliments at work
from
other ladies, and I ain't even mad at it.
I have had
It's good.
so many different kinds of cologne. I have never gotten more compliments than I have on this one, to the point that
True
in
story.
public, people will stop me in elevators,
True.
in the grocery store. They will ask me what scent I'm wearing.
Yeah.
And it has staying power. And for $30, you can't beat this stuff. If you want to know, this is a duplicate, a clone of Creed Aventus, which is like a $400 bottle of cologne. The only difference is that the citrus scent in Aventus is more lemony. This is more limey. I actually prefer the smell of this. The other one I will mention is Armaf Très Nuit Pour Homme. This is a duplicate pretty closely to Creed's Irish Tweed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also a really good scent. If you like a little bit more of like a modern fragrance for a man, check out the Club de Nuit. If you like a little bit more of like a classic, brighter fragrance, check out the Très Nuit. I actually wear this a lot in the spring and summer months. This is kind of like a good all year round fragrance.
Yeah.
So I went with the less expensive stuff if you're a guy, if you want to smell good for your significant other. But let's say that your significant other is a woman and you want to get them something that smells feminine and fragrant, and you want to surprise them with that as a really nice Valentine's Day gift. We brought in Erin's perfume.
I could get an F
which
out of all these whiskey
I actually
bottles.
gifted her for her birthday.
Yes,
And
because I love it.
It's fantastic.
So this is Victor and Rolf Flower Bomb, and there's normally a little black thing that sticks out here, but I ripped it off. This smells floral and citrus, yet not young. I was previously using Marc Jacobs Oh So Fresh, which was really good, but I felt like it was just a little bit too young for me. So this is a little more, this is like the grown-up version of that. It's not super cheap. I think it's probably, a bottle is over $100.
It's going to run you a little over $100. Check Sephora. Check the video description below. I'll link to Fragrance X where we got this, I think.
You don't need a lot. So a little will go a long way.
Yeah.
So it's really good, and it's my, I don't wear much else when I wear anything. It's
got staying power. It smells fantastic. It has like a very sugary note to it, to me, that I just absolutely love. So if you want to gift a lady in your life with something nice, check out Flower Bomb. If you want a regular cologne, if you're a guy and you want a regular cologne for just wearing every day and you don't want to spend a bunch of money, check these out. The links are in the video description below. That's it for this week. Can't thank you guys enough for watching.
Yep.
Till next week.
Cheers. That's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you haven't, give this video a thumbs up.
I didn't know you were going to just stop there.
I don't know what else to say.
We're terrible. We're blowing. We can't even close the episode out.
Like, write a closing sentence.
All right.
Bye. Peace. Deuces.